Right now, as I'm recording this video, and as you're watching this video, there's a fleet of boats like this cruising the Norwegian coastline, harvesting seaweed 24/7 every day of the year. Why? Because this seaweed is kind of magical, and it might help feed the world. With seaweed?
Yeah, with seaweed.
Nelufar Hedayat, journalist.
So this is not just a gimmick. This is genuinely one of the answers to solving one of the biggest problems of humanity. Currently, we don't have enough to feed the world. And as the climate changes, we're going to find it even harder. What's happening to the land that we're growing this food on? How bad is it? What is the situation like with modern farming?
We see those yields going down. Why? Because of the way we do agriculture, and it really destroys the soil.
It's what we've been taught that we had to do it that way, the monocultures, and the most efficient and the most controlled. But we can't keep going on like this.
In a period of climate change, farmers are experiencing a lot of differences in temperature, experiencing flood, they are experiencing a drought.
Regenerative agriculture is really working on the soil to get that living soil back. Because we have to regenerate a very resilient system that is a combination of nature and agriculture that work together.
Regenerative agriculture, what place does it have for the future of farming?
I want to show that you can restore the system while growing food.
The future of agriculture is doing more with less. The world is changing quite quickly.
You're saying that we could have a world where if we treat it correctly, we can have more.
Yes.
The dirt beneath your feet holds the security and the future of our food system. And in many areas of the world, our soil is dying. And if things stay just as they are, we will lose 95% of our fertile soil by 2050. But could the soil hide the secrets of better farming? Could nurturing what's under the ground help us grow more above it? I'm going to take you to the Netherlands to meet Louise vet. Everyone tells me she is the person to speak to when it comes to understanding what's broken in our farming system.
I'm an ecologist, and ecologists study how the natural world works. A good functioning ecosystem needs to be diverse in species. The food system itself is actually responsible for a huge loss of biodiversity. And I see a lot of that, not only in pesticides, a lot in monocultures. So monocultures, that means huge areas of the same crop. The number of species that we grow for food, only 12 in the whole world.
What do you mean?
Well, 12 species we feed the world with.
But there's loads of species here.
Yes, here, but we are here at a different type of agriculture.
This is not like any farm I've ever seen. What exactly is going on here?
It is now a young farm that is starting up as a replacement of the monocultural grassland that we had here. Here you see a diversification at the level of the landscape.
Can you show me?
Well, this is a combination of species. We have different crops, we have trees, we have bushes. Everything delivers something, and it works together in a whole system. And that is a resilient system for the farmers, but also for the soil. Regenerative agriculture is really working on the soil to get that living soil back. If you go to the natural world, which has been research and development for about 2 billion years or more, you apply these wise lessons to an agricultural system. To look into the soil, we see that there is an enormous ecosystem in there of all kinds of species, fungi, bacteria, small fauna that work together and gives that soil a lot of functions. Carbon storage, building soil fertility for growing our crops, keeping the water in when it's dry, shapes the resilience of the crop against pests and diseases. Also, you have animals, and they play a role in keeping the soil fertile. Chickens also eat some of the insects that are there. You build your biodiverse ecosystem that functions by itself.
So the animals become
they play a
staff.
role. And they are staff, yeah. Part of the system.
This is such a beautiful way to look at food production.
It's a more resilient system financially. If something goes wrong, you don't lose one whole crop. You have a diversity of crops. There is enough proof that regenerative agriculture does not have to lead to a lower yield, but in some cases can go to a higher yield.
Meeting Louise was brilliant because she gave me so much hope that we can turn things around and that people like her have a plan. Farmers of the future are the ones that are going to have to figure out how we restore balance, to bring biodiversity into farming and to move away from monoculture and strip farming. Challenge accepted, said Katia Spiras, and she's going to do it by making a forest full of food. Louise told me that this is the pinnacle, this is the future of farming. This feels different. It doesn't feel like a farm. What is this? What's going on here?
We're here in a food forest that's already like 6 to 7 years old. And what you can see is a lot of edible species. It's based on a natural ecosystem. It is a safe space for a lot of biodiversity, but that you can also harvest as humans. In a food forest, you have all these trees like this. In autumn or in winter, they will drop their leaves. And instead of taking it out of the system, you just let it be. And the soil life will turn these leaves into food, into nutrition for your plants. All these trees and shrubs, they will communicate with each other through a fungi network. But that network can only be there if you let the soil be. In food forestry, you seed or you plant the trees and they grow, and in a few years they will give harvest. And maybe in a decade or so, or 2 decades, the food forest will be mature. And after that, the trees will continue to live, sometimes for hundreds of years. So,
wow, okay. So your food forest is on a different time scale.
you know, you have to be patient for it. This soil life really wants to come back if you just let it come back. That's what we are doing right now.
The farm you just saw is a close to finished food forest, but Katia wanted to show me her baby, a brand new food forest that she's growing called Voedselbos de Liar, and it needs as many farmhands as it can get.
But actually here you can see how quickly plants come back, because there was nothing here last year. And now it's overgrown already. Have you, by the way, seen all the spider webs on the field? It's so nice.
Crazy. Here we have a hedgerow species. Now basically we've got to dig them up, see which ones are alive, get dirty.
Yes!
That one, it doesn't have leaves anymore. So what you do, you just green, and you see it's green.
Yes,
so
it's alive.
It's alive. It's alive. Yeah.
We're going to be planting them back with volunteers, and then they'll stay there for the rest of their lives.
I am listening. She's a big one.
Come on, you can do it.
All right, together.
Help me, guys.
Great.
We did it. Why did you choose this path? It's not the easy one. It's not even normal, you know, you're kind of extreme.
Food forestry is, I would say, the most complex form, the most far-going form of agroforestry. It does require a lot of human design and knowledge to create a space like this. Together with my colleagues, we really want to show that this type of agriculture is a healthy business, right? And yes, it is a commitment, but it's also a good way of showing how we can do it differently and work with nature instead of against it.
You're so passionate about this.
I am. It's awesome.
I really am enjoying this. I didn't think I would, but...
And imagine being here with 50 people together. It's cold when you start in the morning, but then as soon as the morning sun rises, you've dug some holes, warmed up with each other. It's great fun. It's great fun. That's fruits of our labor. There he goes.
I really like nature, I really like food, I really like being outside. I don't see myself behind my laptop the rest of my life. So I wanted to do something that contributes both to the world, but also to my own happiness, I would say.
Well, I'm gonna come back in 10 years to see what you guys have built.
Maybe
and
also
designed.
come in 5. It's gonna be a complete different feeling when you walk here in 5 years.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm not being lazy. I am doing it.
We're watching you.
The future of farming is definitely not just fruit forestry. There's a lot of types of agriculture that is regenerative, but we have to get the message. We have to restore biodiversity and we have to restore the soils.
A food forest feels like the most ideal form of regenerative agriculture, albeit the absolute slowest. But how do we save our soil right now? Nature does have a 2 billion year head start on us, but science can help us turbocharge regenerative agriculture to new limits.
There is a strong connection between the seaweed and the farming. This is an activity and it is a tradition that comes from the Viking Age.
The Viking Age.
Yes, of course. This seaweed has been used for centuries to feed the cattle, to be spread on the soil. Having the capacity and the possibility to harvest seaweed was a lifeline for people living in these areas.
Sort of hoovering it up, can you see?
The seaweed is the main ingredients of biostimulants that are sold to farmers that are sprayed on the soil.
What is a biostimulant?
Biostimulants are helping plants to enhance their uptake of nutrients from the soil. They are making the rooting system stronger and more efficient. I want to show you the fresh one. That's what we have harvested a few minutes ago. With the dried one, this one is...
Can I eat it?
Of course.
I'm gonna eat it.
You can eat it. You can eat it.
It's kind of like celery. So why the seaweed? What is so special about this seaweed and where it grows?
The seaweed grows in the North Hemisphere, in the upper part of the world, and it is capable of surviving harsh conditions. In icy waters, strong winds, this seaweed endures. It is resilient and has the capacity to adapt. And its adaptability is what makes the biostimulants very special. So what we do, we make the extract of this resilience, and we want to bring this capacity to adapt to farmers to combat the abiotic stress. Means the stress deriving from differences in temperature. You know, farmers are experiencing the effect of the climate change. Plants that are treated with biostimulants are showing a better capacity to resist, to endure, and to be resilient.
The farms you've seen so far are all less than about 50 hectares, and to feed the world, we need to restore the soil on hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of hectares of farms. I'm now sure more than ever that farming needs to fundamentally change in the world if we're going to save our soil. Take Brazil, for example. You could argue that Brazil is the food basket of the world because, well, it is. But 2/3 of its farmland is just felled trees and deforestation of Amazonian rainforest, literally removing ancient biodiversity for crops to feed animals or us. And agribusiness has a heck of a lot to answer for about that. But things are changing. They are. And if agriculture can be changed to regenerative forms in Brazil, it can be changed anywhere. The government of Brazil, along with a bank called Itaú and the non-profit, the Nature Conservancy, are working with the Syngenta Group to restore soil on thousands of hectares, and they're calling it the Reverte program. This states that no rainforest can be destroyed for farming, and that biodiverse forests must be part of the farmland. Gabriel, who I met in Brazil, was super stoked to show me the program. This 40 1,000 hectare farm is practicing regenerative agriculture. Are you telling me that that's what's happening?
Yes, exactly.
How do you know the soil, this dirt, how do you know this is healthy?
Because to produce cotton, the soil needs a lot of things, a lot of nutrients. And to achieve that, the soil that was degraded, now it's recovered. So
You're
this is
smiling.
amazing.
You look really happy.
It's so amazing because I love to support the growers, the farmers here to produce more and more foods and without cause damage in the environment. It's fantastic.
This is the proof of the concept.
Exactly, this is the proof. I love my job because I see the change in the world. It's a hope for me.
For farming to change and for us to save ourselves and feed the world, we need big ag and small farms. We need the global north and south. We need agribusiness and sustainable farmers to all get involved. I've already told you what will happen if we do nothing. But this journey, it's opened my eyes to what we can achieve if we all put our hands together and got them dirty and made things a bit better. Now, if you've made it this far, thanks. Maybe subscribe to the Possible Worlds channel, and you can show me some love by hitting the like button. I also read the comments, so tell me what you think about all of this.